Live from Springfield, it's the Authentic Human Being Show, starring the suede jacket, the infamous suede jacket that Christine allegedly was wearing when she was taken by the rogue wave. And while floundering in the water, clutching onto the rocks with big waves crashing all around her, she managed to get a soaking wet suede jacket off of her body. And it floundered out in the ocean for who knows how long, a day or two. And then another wave brought it up on the shore, high up in the ice plants, where Vicky found it a week later. Vicky and Seamus. And they made a home movie when they went back to Rocky Point. And they were walking along. Hey, Vicky, how's you doing, Mommy? How are you doing? Hold my hand, I'm afraid. You know. And they found, oh look, there's Christine's jacket. How did it get way up here? It must have been another big rogue wave. Washed it up there after she got it off. Wow. This is more of a miracle than Christine sitting down on the final rock and saying, you know, if a wave came right now, I might drown. And all of a sudden, upon her came the big rogue wave. And people believe it, you know. My gosh, she called her own death. How fucking ironic is that? God, I believe that because I believe in fairy tales and Peter Pan and Tinkerbell and Pixie Dust. I believe in all that. And gosh darn, this is what I want to read when I read about a famous artist book. I want magic in my reading, you know, especially when it comes to a female famous artist. I want fantasy land. Well, we're going to look at this jacket, which I purchased yesterday. And I believe it's suede because of the price. $29 was the price tag. And the other jackets were normally $15 on that rack, but because this is real suede, it says checkout guy, it's $29. I said, well, that's not a bad price to pay. You know, so let's look at the inside of this. It's got some kind of, I don't know, fake satin liner. Not that thick. It's very thin. This liner. And when I read about this, did I read about this? Or, oh yeah, I did read about it, and Vicky said something about it, I think, you know. We'll put all this together in my book. You know, because I'm forced to really reveal some of my secrets, because looks like Murray Altman and Daryl and Kimberly Bulkley want to create the new family. See, you know, they want to cleanse the family of the old shit. The lies, the cheating, the deceiving, you know, character assassinations, you know, and they want to take, you know, little Heather by the hand. Come on, Heather, let's go to the new family. Well, you'll have a fresh start, you know, and you'll be free of that bad daddy, the bad seed daddy. And Murray will be your new father. He'll be your surrogate father. He's a fresh, clean, young, judo, karate, kicking ass man, you know. He's got a kid or two. So, yeah, come on, Murray, come in there and take my kid from me and my grandson. Come on, Daryl, help yourself. Come in and take the children. You know, forget about whether Tom Snyder may be up to be deluded and insane because I suggested murder. Murder. Well, that wasn't the first thing I suggested. I said it's on the list of possibilities because I'd heard things that convinced me that Vicky and Seamus Dundon, who were there at Rocky Point, were lying to me. And they were lying to the people. They were lying to Rosamond's fans. Before we continue, let me explain why I'm dressed in a bathrobe. My father, Victor William Presco, always wore a bathrobe around the house. And you go over there, no matter what time of day, there's Vic walking around in his bathroom, you know, singing a song. See, he was a crooner. He was in the barbershop quartet. I got a photograph of him singing with his Mexican mafia buddies and stuff. So, then there's Vinny the Chin, the godfather of the village, and he was facing some time in jail, and I just noticed it was raining out there, and so he feigned mental illness, and there he is walking around the village outdoor, his bathroom. So, looking at this photograph of Christine fishing on a boat, I saw that the pole that she had was almost identical to this, and it just blew me away. I bought this a long time ago because it reminded me of the fishing poles that Vic used to have, my father used to have. They're classics. They were wooden poles, just like that. They're big, big poles. Should have a bigger reel on that. But a month after Christine died, somehow, I asked Vic about that day, those days, March 25th and 26th, 1994. And I asked him if he saw Vicky or Seamus, or both of them, around that time. And he said, yeah, they stopped over. I said, why'd they stop over? Well, they wanted to get my fishing poles, borrow my fishing poles to take out to Rocky Point. And I said, really? You really asked that? Well, Vicky waited in the car because we weren't getting along. But Seamus came in to get the key, because they called ahead and said, hey, we want to borrow your fishing poles, Vic. And so he said, Seamus came in, got the key, went out to his shed, took his fishing poles, put them in the car, and drove out to Rocky Point Friday night. It's a month after the rogue wave did it all, see. Blame it on the rogue wave and bad Johnny seed. The first account of what happened at Rocky Point appeared in the Carmel Pine Cup. And Vicky said this. I think John Detro wrote the article. Christine went back and sat down on the final rock after saying we should go get lunch and rent fishing poles. And rent fishing poles. Okay, that's, a newspaper. And it's in their files. It's in their archives. And this is what Vicky said, Christine said. That we should go to town and rent fishing poles. Well, I had a copy of that article, and after Vic says Seamus came in and got his fishing poles, I showed him what it said, and he looked at me like, whoa, something's not right here, something's fishy. I said, yeah, this is real fishy. So I said, what do you think happened out there, Vic? You know that they're lying. They're putting words in Christine's mouth because Vicky knows they brought Vic's fishing poles out there, and so does Seamus. This is serious. This is extremely serious. Because here was the last chance to save Christine's life. And Vicky said, yeah, good idea, Christine. Let's go to town and rent some fishing poles. Let's go right now. Let's leave right now. Let's not sit with your back to the ocean, with a wind at 25 miles an hour and the sea breaking all around you. Let's go rent fishing poles because there's no tide pools here. There's not one tide pool. There's not one nice shell or sea anemone. Nothing here but danger. But you know what? There might be some good fishing here. Yeah. Seamus would sure love to catch a big fish for, and impress his 8-year-old niece, Drew Benton. Look at Drew. I caught me a big fish. Here's for you. Okay? See, this was the last chance. See, Vicky said Seamus was down there. Then she removed him. She made me a map pointing them out, and I put names next to the dots. When she saw me putting the names next to the dots, she disappeared and came back 5 minutes later with this drawing. Apparently Drew had done. So, Drew did this drawing just now because I wanted her to get in touch with her feelings. And she only meant to show 3 figures down here. And that hyphen stick figure going over here is removing the 4th person because she made a mistake. Seamus was not down there. I have those drawings. So, Vic's poles are removed in an authentic, bona fide newspaper. They're removed. They don't have, the fishing poles altogether are removed. They're going to go to town to get fishing poles. Okay? That's removing evidence, isn't it? Evidence of what? That they had fishing poles, and therefore there was no need to rent them, go to town and rent them. And how about this idea of getting lunch at 10 a.m.? Apparently they just got down there. And Tom Snyder in his lying-ass book, When You Close Your Eyes, is saying how treacherous it was to walk down there. And Drew slipped and got ice plant goo on her. She wanted to wipe it at Christine's coat or something like that, and she wouldn't let her, So Vicky and everybody started talking to me because I started asking good questions. And in the new family that the Bulkleys and Murray Altman are creating, I asked them questions, all three of them. Are you or anybody you know related to me writing a book? And they repeated to answer that question. They refused to answer that question. And I kept asking it. And each time I did, I got a little bit more rude, okay? Because I think it's rude. So I said, it looks like you're in contact with my daughter on Facebook. She's banned me. And Daryl says she's got photo albums, 250 of them, of my daughter and my grandson. So I said, you don't get to do that. You don't get to take photographs of a minor child, Tyler Hunt, and not speak to his grandfather, give him the cold shoulder, and unfriend him on Facebook. You don't get to do that. And I'm telling you, I said, this investigation of my sister's death is ongoing because I don't own a picture of how she died. And my grandson is old enough now to get onto the computer, to go and get a copy of When You Close Your Eyes, and he's going to read for himself. It'll probably be pointed out to him by the new family while he's sitting on the knee of Grandma Richie Pooh, you know, and one family member who was so deluded and crazy, he suggested murder. I didn't suggest murder. My detective friend did. He says, and I said it in a report to the coroner, and I said report to the guy who wrote this article about the fishing poles, and he happened to know Stacy and the Gary people. He showed it to him. And they went with that. Boy, okay, now, ooh, boy, we'll just make it out there. Jon Presco is so fucking deluded and insane that right when he heard the sister died out there, he wanted to convict his family of murder. He was walking on I think it was murder. They murdered my sister. See, that's how they depict me. And Heather went along with it because her mother's writing her own bio, posing as my daughter, and answering her emails. See? There's a lot of people that have been writing shit that didn't make it into the book. A lot of people have been saying shit, and they've been saying it to my grandson and turning him against me. You know, and I'm going to make damn sure, you know, the new family members get their day in the sun. Because tomorrow, when it gets warm, we're having unseasonable weather, I'm going to have a friend, a woman friend of mine, put this jacket on and get in my pool out there. Okay? I'm going to see if this jacket impedes her treading water or her swimming. Because I want to know why Christine Rosamond Benton would take this jacket off if she's in the water. And how hard of a experience that would be for her to get this jacket. Because it would cling to her like a skin. But that's good because the water temperature is around 52. And she's already suffering from her hypothermia within 5 minutes of being in the waters. So why would she want to get this jacket off? She looking for Drew. She apparently rescues Drew and hands her to Vicky. You know, did she take the jacket off before she did that? No. She's got this jacket on. She's too busy. She's too busy trying to get from being dashed onto the rocks by the big waves that were coming on. And she's clinging to them. All her fingernails are torn back. She knows what's going on. She's heard. She's lived there for 15 years on the coast. She knows how people die. They get in the water, they can't get out. Hypothermia sets in and their muscles explode. And they're helpless. They can't think straight. They can't hold on to anything. And they begin to drown. Christine knew all this. And why wasn't she cold? Wearing just this, when she went down there, supposedly, to look for sea creatures in the tide pools that she knew were not there. She lived on the coast for 15 years. She knew where everybody went to bring their children to look for tide pool creatures where it was safe. And even then, she might not have done that. They've got park rangers there watching over everybody before they go down, look for tide pool creatures in a very protected, sheltered area. They warn them specifically what to look for. And never, never turn your back to the ocean, which Christine leisurely did. So, Vicky wouldn't give me the name of the owners of the place because I wanted to go out there and talk to them. Oh, it doesn't matter who they are, they're gone now. And then Jackie Belford calls me up. And she's telling me she made an offer to buy the estate, and she's glad that Vic is not going to get his prince back. And my niece Shannon's going to ruin the estate. She's the adult heir. And she said, her and Christine have one thing in common. They were both molested by their fathers. I couldn't believe it. I was trying to keep my mouth shut so I could keep investigating. And I said, well, you probably heard that my father, Vic, raped Shannon, according to her. So when it comes to this common abuse, I think you're not a member of the family. So I don't think you have a priority and you weren't in Christina's will. And as for telling me you're glad Vic's not going to get his prince back before the probate begins, is a possible felony. It's conspiracy to commit a felony. And third, is your father still alive? Why don't we just come over and pick me up, and we'll go to his house, and we'll grab his house, we'll take his car, we'll take everything out of his garage, we'll take his fishing poles, we'll take his lunch box, because he owes us. He owes my family. Click. Fuck them. Christine would have been extremely cold wearing this. She'd never go outside just wearing this. The highs that day were going to be about 60 degrees. The low overnight temperature was 45 to 35. The wind was 10 to 25 miles an hour. The wind chill factor would have been 48 degrees. Within 2 minutes of walking out that house in Rocky Point, Christine would have been like this. Takes about 15-20 minutes to walk down there to the ocean. And now she's going to be like this. She was very sensitive to cold. What gets me is how these people go back to that boy, the latest biographer, Christine's biographer, and demonizes me, a child, at 5 years of age, and says he's responsible for there not being any more artwork of Christine when she was a child, when she was hiding in a closet. Thanks to Jon Presco, that work does not exist. Well, guess what? Christine had lived. If she'd gone and rented fishing poles that morning, she'd still be alive today. And she'd be producing works of art, making money for herself and her 2 daughters. There was a chance, wasn't there, to save Christine's life as an adult so she could go back to work, doing what she's been doing for 40 years, producing beautiful works of art. And Seamus was there, Vicky was there, and Drew was there. down there in that cove. 2 adults. They could have prevented Christine from losing her life because I don't believe she died down there. Got it? The jacket's a plant. And the thing that really got me is Vicky said that Seamus was up there in the house playing video games. And I said, excuse me, Vicky, you told me right off the bat that that house was never open and the 4 of you were ogling the TV because you wanted to play video games. You said that house was locked and you couldn't go in there. I asked the sheriff, I says, was that main house open? He says, yeah. I says, anybody in there? He said, yeah. There were about 4 adults and about 3 children. I said, whose children are those? I don't know. You know? But there was this woman there, and she was your sister, right? Your 3rd sister. I said, no, I've only got 2 sisters. Well, I only got 1 now. Well, there was a woman there I thought was your sister, along with Vicky. See, who was that? The sheriff said, I don't know, I didn't get any names. So Rosemary says there was a party planned out there. Christine wasn't going to go down there, look for sea anemones or starfish. She went out there for a party. Someone invited her out there, was going to throw a party out there for her. That's why you had these children and these adults. And I think some of them stayed overnight in Christine's house and at the house in Rocky Point. They disappeared at the party, they disappeared these guests, and they disappeared Vic's fishing poles. What happened? See, and that's why they're disappearing me, because I'm asking good questions. See, sane, perfectly good questions. And this family of fucking liars hate that. They always have, they always will. They're always running away because they just don't fucking know the truth. They don't know how to tell the truth when they believe a lie will suffice, will get them what they need out of life, out of the state, out of artwork, you name it. If they can, if a lie will get them there, they'll use it. And they've been using it. They had Cassandra Dundon giving the end of the book, interviewing the rescue people, acting like a real authority, and, you know, and the tide, and the wind, and the sails, and the blustery blah, blah, and I, Cassandra Dundon. Well, there's no testimony from Seamus Dundon. And he was there. He was all over the place, looking for lizards, getting a headache, up there playing video games. And he was even reading a book. I said, what's the name of the book, Seamus? I didn't remember. Well, fuck you. You probably weren't reading a book, you fucking liar. He came in and got Vic's poles. That's a fact, Jack. Too bad my father's dead to testify. Too bad no one stepped forward, no attorney said, I'm going to take your case because I love Rosamond's work. And I believe something happened out there that was very suspicious. What, we don't know. But I don't have to prove it. All I got to prove is these fishing poles were disappeared. They were mentioned and they were removed. Christine said, let's go to town and rent fishing poles. It's there in writing. You can't deny that. That didn't